Good morning, everybody. Hey, it's good to be back. Yes, we had a terrible hurricane. The good news is I'm in way down in southwest Florida, which is Naples. And yes, we had a lot of tense moments watching the track. We were unbelievably blessed that the storm went north of us, or the main brunt of the storm went to north of us. Now, don't think I sit here and go, hey, yay. No, I don't. I mean, yes, we certainly don't want storms to hit anybody. So here we are, and I'm back on the air. What I will do this afternoon, I think, is I'm going to really recap some of the issues that is one of my second projects, I guess you might say, is all about the problem with our electrical in the whole country, but particularly in this area. And I have firsthand examples of things that might be interesting, and I don't really do presentations where I want to be like angry and yelling and screaming. And sometimes I know some people like to watch that type of stuff, but I don't really do it. But I think I like to bring up things that are true, that are wrong, and that would cause everybody to be in a better situation. It's probably the best way I can say it. Anyway, this is a relatively short project this morning, and it's talking about the black bears in southwest Florida, and that's right around here. Now, interestingly, before we get hit with the storm, we had some rain and a lot of rain, actually. And right next door to us, and I've mentioned it before, we have about 5 acres. It's not our land, but it's 5 acres of untouched, in essence, pine trees, tall pine trees. And I am pretty sure that there is a family of black bears in that acreage. Now, I didn't tell my wife because she'd say, you're stupid. Because she actually, believe it or not, she actually carries bear spray out to get the mail. And I keep saying, honey, these bears down here are not going to go after you. They're more, I don't want to say afraid of you, but they really don't want to deal with people, and I don't blame them. Okay, so yes, black bears do inhabit southwest Florida. While they are not as prevalent as in other parts of the state, particularly the more forested areas, they can be found in certain regions. Now, we live in Naples, but we are way outside the major middle city of Naples. We're in what is called Golden Gate. And it is, and about a week ago, I did a presentation on looking down one way on my street, east and west, basically, then looking on the other side. There aren't a lot of homes here, and there's a lot of woods. Now, I know someday we'll say, well, I remember it was good, because, I like to be surrounded by woods and by nature. And we recognize every area gets more popular. The funny part of over here, and this is almost no excuse, we have no cell service. And I've mentioned that before. And I don't mean because of the storm. They just, and there's no excuse for this. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. We don't have any cell towers close enough to us here to have it where what the cell service we pay for, we don't have. The only time we have where we can use our phones is related to our Wi-Fi. Now, we have Comcast. In fact, I have two accounts, one for this building and then one for the main house. And, you know, sometimes people say, oh, I don't like Comcast. Comcast is okay. I had them over in Davie on the east coast of Florida, and we have them again here. And, they do their best. And it's a good speed. And when we were moving here, there weren't a lot of choices. And, and considering we don't have cell towers, we couldn't kind of link up with either. And we came over as Verizon customers, and then we switched to, T-Mobile. And they would keep trying to say, hey, you want our home internet for $50 a month? I'd say, it won't work here. We don't have any cell towers. Now, I spoke to Verizon. I'm sorry. I get off on tangents, but, it's sometimes good for everybody to know whether they're in a good situation or bad situation. I spoke to Verizon more than once, and they said, well, the reason we don't have cell towers out there is because people don't want them. Well, that's not a good excuse, in my opinion. And bottom line, if they had said to us, or if they said, we're looking for some place to put a cell tower, because we have a pretty good piece of property and we're blessed, I would have said, hey, put it here. Put it in the back of our, we have a whole back section that we don't do anything with. And thanks, we're glad we have it, but, it's like, let's put it to good use. And I'm sure, like with looking for sources of income, they would, if they said, well, we pay you so much per month. I'm like, perfect. And boy, would I have good cell service. And I could cut my internet bill way down because I have two accounts. One is $150, the other one was about $250. And it's the same line. So and I'm not picking on Comcast, but let's face it, it's too expensive. But if again we had a cell tower, and it doesn't have to be on our property, but at least near, we could supplement. It could, because what happened, and again this afternoon I'm going to go way into the storm and talk about the storm. We had absolutely no cell service for 2 days. 2.5 days. And we couldn't, if we had to call 911, we couldn't. They have what they call SOS on your phone. I even tried to see if that actually works. Now, I don't know, I know the future, I'm not sure if the future's here yet, but we will be, in the sense of when we're in an emergency situation, we don't have cell service, we will potentially be bouncing our signal up to one of the satellite companies. There's more than one. Yes, the main one you think of when I mention that is Starlink. So we don't know what's going to happen. But let's talk about these beautiful black bears. Okay. Because we have so many trees here and woods, we have quite a few bears. And what I started to say was, a couple days ago, I started walking in to our property, next door property that, again, is 5 acres of trees and trees and woods and woods and woods. And I was going to walk in with my camera. And probably somebody would say, you're stupid, right? I was going to, in essence, go to see if I could sneak up on the bears and get some pictures. Now, Jim, do you think you can sneak up on a bear? I really, really doubt it. So I know it was kind of stupid, but I get a little ways in, and it was all kind of mushy, 2-3 inches of water. So I said, well, I think this is telling me maybe I better not do that. So moving on. Okay, where to spot them? Lee County, this county, especially in the lower 2/3, is known to have a notable black bear population. Collier County. Now, we're in Collier County, way out west. The northwestern half of this county, including areas near the state and national preserves, is a good spot to potentially encounter bears. Other areas, while less common, black bears have been spotted in areas like Naples. That's where we live. And yes, I don't know, they almost make it sound like you might see one occasionally. No. We either see them or there's an application, and I know some people will know, it's called Nextdoor. And most of the time, people will say, hey, look who came and visited us last night. And you'll see 2 or 3 bears running around in their backyard. So, anyway. Okay, so, as I said, it's areas like Naples, Charlotte County, Sarasota County, and Manatee County. Safety tips for residents and visitors. If you live in or are visiting Southwest Florida, it is essential to take precautions. I have an itchy nose. Does that mean I'm going to kiss somebody? I don't know. That's an old saying. And somebody says, oh, I got an itchy nose. Yeah, I guess I'm going to kiss someone. Oh, no, I'm going to kiss a fool. I'm dating myself. Oh, man, I'll tell you. I'm going to be kissing a lot of people. Okay, to take precautions to minimize encounters with black bears. It's not that we're afraid and that they're, how would you say, they see you, they're going to go after you. No, they'll go the other way unless you do something really, really stupid. Okay, so you need to keep your garbage, bird feeders, and pet food indoors or in bear-resistant containers. Clean up after yourself. Remove any food scraps or fallen fruit from your property. Be aware of your surroundings. Hike or walk in groups. Whoops, I was going in by myself. Make noise to alert bears of your presence and avoid areas known for bear activity. I know you're saying, hey, Jim, you were real smart, and the water saved you. Remember, black bears are typically shy, which is true, and avoid human contact, which is true. If you do encounter one, maintain a safe distance, and it says in parentheses, Jim, and avoid making sudden movements. So, they're beautiful. These animals are great. I feel very concerned. And, we bought a house that was existing. So it's not where we tore down a whole big piece of land and built a home. That I would have actually felt bad about, besides the cost. But all through my animal series that I've done for a good long time now, we always are talking about losing bears and all our animals losing and being encroached on their territory. So on this street, we have seen, I think, only one home built since we've been here, and we've been here about 1.5 years. But it's only a matter of time that they're going to be building more here, and empty land and probably not as expensive. And again, It's not in Naples proper. So, if it was like when we were thinking of moving to Naples, it was like, oh, I don't think we can afford a home over there. But out here, it's country, and properties aren't too bad. They, like with anything, they're all going up. So, anyway, again, this afternoon, I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the storm issues and some of the electrical issues, and, all related to our utility companies and all the things that kind of make me feel like things are not like they should be. And they haven't been that way for many, many, many years. So I want to thank you. And my blessings, and I know I do this every day, but my blessings go to all the folks that got hit with Helene, all the folks now that get hit with Milton. And, there's a lot of folks that, I hate to say, lost everything, because there was enough wind to say, yeah, this is a bad storm. But as we generally discuss, it's not the wind as much. That's a problem too. But it's the storm surge. And when we finally got our electrical back, by the way, I have a backup, and I'm going to talk about what we did with the backup and some practical issues related to what I'm using, EcoFlow equipment. And I'll be telling you all about that, on top of the fact that, yes, I've been a Generac dealer, still am, for 20 plus years. But, the biggest point I will say is you've got to think of protecting yourself, both from a point of view of water, wind, and having backup power. And I'm going to do that in a whole separate discussion this afternoon, or some suggestions and what works and what doesn't work. But again, blessings to everybody. And we love our animals. And the nice thing that was a little different than usual, when they were talking about shelters, I didn't hear, years ago it would be like, because we were over in the east coast of Florida, they would say, okay, you get a shelter here, you get a shelter there, you get a shelter here. That third one is pet friendly. But what I found over here, and I don't think it's just particularly here, when they were talking about shelters, they were all saying that all the shelters were pet friendly. Because I wouldn't leave my animal. I couldn't, unless I was incapacitated and not aware of anything. But I would protect Jamie. By the way, she's my boss, so she not only do I love her because she's an animal, she's also my boss. So in other words, I got to do a good job when it comes to Jamie. But anyway, that was cool. So more news this afternoon. So I'll be doing some more lives. And thank you. And again, I will talk to you this afternoon. I can promise that. Thank you.